Hi, I'm Ildiko Spinfisher. I'm the founder of Life Retuning, a psychological human energy-based modality which sidesteps the mind. I'm known as the Quantum Wizard. I work with heart-centered entrepreneurs globally to unlock their greatest potential and upgrade their success. I run workshops and courses teaching about energy wisdom. I feel blessed to have the opportunity to share with you on the Be Woke podcast show, and I want to thank you for being here with us today.
Hi everyone, my name is Julie Salant and I am an animal communicator and transformational intuitive coach. My gift is that I am able to see negative energies that are blocking you and remove them with light language and bring in positive energy to bring you back into alignment. I'm also an animal communicator, and I really love talking with Ildiko because she brings the science to what our discussions are, and I'm the intuitive part. Thank you for being here. We're looking forward to having you on all the podcasts. Thanks so much. All right, everyone. Hey, we are back. Julie Salant, Ildiko Spinfisher. Thank you for joining us. This is our second podcast, where the first podcast we discussed how to better set intentions and goals from a positive place versus a negative place and a fear-based place. But today we're going to go much deeper. And this is the fun part. This is what we love talking about.
Yeah.
And Ildiko is going to start off because we're going to talk about energy, and then we're talking about how to change patterns and your energy and goals, as it is to goals, with positive influences, but all energy based to change the neural pathways. So let's dive in because this is the fun part.
Certainly is. Hi, everybody. So we are going to continue the discussion, and as Julie quite rightly says, dive deeper into what do we mean about using energy. I mean, what is energy? Energy powers your light bulb. You know, it's the heat from your radiator. Not that you have those in the States, but we have them. You don't need them. It's the warmth of the sun. You know. So we know about electricity, and really it is electricity that runs our bodies. If you think about how your muscles work, how can you lift your arm up? What actually takes place in the muscles? There are tiny little firings of electricity that contract the muscle. That's how it works. So you already run on electricity in the physical sense. Mm-hmm. We were talking about the brain. The brain also runs on electricity. There are tiny little firings in the neurons, and they fire with the synapses. So that's how the brain actually creates the pathways, the neuronal pathways. But way outside of those physical activities and functions, your entire system is made up of energy. Now, I know that sounds such a crazy thing to say, but I refer you to Albert Einstein, who said that everything is energy. That's all there is to it. There is no matter. And you think, huh? What do you mean there's no matter? Well, I'm physical. My world is physical around me. But actually, the reality of the situation and the fascinating thing is that when there are these microscopes that are called TEMS microscopes, and they are able to go down to the subatomic level of particles. And they have discovered that once they've got down to that level and they start going deeper, everything just turns into waves. All they see is waves. So the reality of our world and our experiences are actually wave frequencies. It's just that our eyes translate wave frequencies into what look like physical objects. Our bodies experience on the outside things as solid, but that's because our physical bodies are vibrating at a similar level to the physical things in our world. Imagine it this way: if emotions are also vibrational frequencies, and the objects around us were tuned to the vibrational frequencies that were similar to your emotions. If somebody had an angry thought about you, you'd experience it like being hit by a 10-ton truck.
Right.
Right? Because
Right.
that would be the level that the vibrations would be similar to your physicality. But that's not the way it is. It's our physical bodies that resonate at a similar level to the physical objects in our environment. So if we're looking at the fact that everything is energy, as Einstein said, then your physical body, even though it looks physical, is not physical. It's made up of vibrational frequencies. So what is energy? Energy is an effect. It's an effect on something. That's really what it boils down to. What does it look like? They are wave frequencies. So when you see the sine waves, when you see the heartbeat, the heart rate showing up on the monitor,
Yes.
that's a wave frequency.
Okay.
When you see the brain waves, the beta, as I said in the previous podcast, the beta, the theta waves, they are wave frequencies that the brain sends out. But waves don't just end at the end of your physical body. They are emanations. And so they go out from your physical body and they come in. So we are transmitters and receivers of energetic information all the time. Energy waves carry information. They carry information about all sorts of states of being. So they could be about the position of things, the speed of things. And we are constantly exchanging this information outside of our physical selves. So when I talk about energy, that's what I mean.
And let me just, so from my point of view, and I'm always get things in pictures, and this is the way I'm looking at it, which is completely different, but the same. It's just, we're two sides of the same coin. I am always talking about raising your vibration, because everything that's you have an electromagnetic field all the way around you, and it affects everyone that comes in contact with you, including people, animals, physical, the desk that I'm on, every single thing. That's exactly what you're saying. So that's why I'm always saying, try to raise your vibration into a gratitude, joy, happiness, because that's a much higher vibration than an anger or sadness, which is a much lower vibration. But the bottom line is that you are radiating this information and emotions out into the world at all times, whether you realize it or not. So say that you are going down the street and somebody cuts in front of you, which has happened to all of us. We get really angry and I start swearing in my car, and then I try to let it go. Still working on that one. But say I step out and I'm going to the grocery store, and I'm still kind of thinking about that, and I'm going through the line and I'm paying for something and I'm kind of grumbling. That person is going to feel all that energy that I'm pushing out, even though I may not realize I'm pushing it out. So in other words, it's always in your field is basically what you're experiencing and putting out into the world. And you also receive back, as Ildiko was saying, I receive back Ildiko's energy, even though we're far away. Energy, let's talk about that for a quick second. Energy and how we can feel each other's energy from far away. Can we just dip on that for a second?
Yeah, sure. So as I said, coming back to Einstein, he said everything is energy. So if everything is energy and everything is a vibrational frequency, then everything touches everything else.
Right.
In energetic terms, there is no time and no space either. Waves do not exist in a space as we see it in the third dimensional reality. They exist in their own realm, really. So in that respect, if a vibrational frequency goes out, it can be felt very fast in every direction, because it's like the ripple effect. If you think about throwing a pebble into the water and the ripples go out in every direction, not just sideways, but down as well, and probably above, except we can't see it. So objects, emotions, thoughts carry their own effect. And a thought will go out very fast and can affect somebody on the other side of the globe. Even though we are not tuned into the awareness, most people are not tuned into that awareness level, but it is there. It is absolutely there. And when you are able to stay in that now awareness, you pick up on so much going on all the time. But there is no space and no time when it comes to energy. You cannot talk about those two things. They are a nonsense thing. So we're talking more about the fourth and certainly the fifth fifth dimension. The fact that things happen where we can't see them, but we can feel the impact of them.
It's just like if you were on a dock and there's ships near the dock and it's there's a lot of fog. You can't see the ship, but the ship is still there, right?
Correct.
That's what I always think of. So if we know that everything's energy, we know that we have this field around us and we can feel, people feel us, we feel other things, information is transferred. How can we use this in our everyday lives to make our lives better?
So there are many ways that we can use energy. I want to it's interesting you mentioned about ships, Julie, because I wanted to tell you listeners about something that you may not be aware of when it comes to ships. If we're talking about vibrations, when you have a moving body on a body of water, like the sea, when you have a ship, and the ship travels along and it creates a wave behind it.
Yes.
And a bow wave. So even a couple of days after the ship has passed, you can tell information from the waves that it has created, which stay in the ocean, as to how heavy it was, its tonnage, its speed. There are certain things you can actually tell from the waves that were created. Would you believe it?
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. So now what you're saying is there's no ending for waves.
There's no ending for waves. No.
Does that mean that, wait a second, my mind just went like this. So wait a second. If that's true, are we always swimming in negative and positive thoughts, no matter what our vibration is?
Yeah, we are always swimming in it, because one of the characteristics of energy is it cannot be created or destroyed. Now think about this. Ever since the Big Bang and everything that was created, which is in vibrational frequencies, nothing has ever been destroyed. Not one single atom or vibration has ever been destroyed, apparently, or created. So we are the ultimate recycling system in the universe. Nothing's new, and that certainly isn't new. So yes, energy only transforms into different forms. So it can be transmuted from, if you think about when you are you switch your light on, and you see the light, and the light, if you put your hand up to the light bulb, you'll burn it.
Yes.
Because the light is being transformed into heat instantly. So energy is constantly being transformed into different, different forms. It's being transformed into different forms.
So that's the benefit of it, that we are able to take that negative energy that's latent and then change that into the positive frequency, correct?
Yeah, it's what I call internal alchemy. I practice internal alchemy, and what that means is changing those frequencies. Yes.
And we're gonna get deeper on that, because what Ildiko does, and she was nice enough to give me a little bit of an experience of what she does, and what she does is unbelievable, because myself as an energy healer, I can see your energetic blocks, remove them, and then bring in light, right? But what Ildiko does is something different. I always liken it to pretend that she's at the back of, like, you're a computer. This is the way I think of you. And you're seeing remember the old telephones where they plug all the plugs? This is what I think of. And she can bring up something. She knows exactly when a trauma happened. And she'd say something like, she said, you had a trauma at 22. Now remember, this can be conscious or subconscious. But the reason I'm bringing this up is because she can, what you said earlier, you can change that vibration and thought from something very traumatic and negative into something not only neutral, but positive, which completely changes not only you and your energy field, but everything around you. So basically, by flipping it, because I think this is what we're talking about, is that this energy that you've experienced something that maybe is very negative in your life, and it causes an imprint, right?
Yes.
You can identify it, even if it's subconscious. So consciously, you may not even know about it, but subconsciously, we're at 90%, I think you had said, right? 90% subconscious.
That's right, yes.
So you can change that energy from negative to positive and into a different vibration, which for the human is basically, in a simple way I can say it, is removing the trauma. Would that be correct?
Absolutely, that's right. It's neutralizing the emotional, as you say, the emotional impact and the charge.
The charge,
around, within a memory. It's obliterating that. And it's done vibrationally. And as I said, because we're working on a different level than the third dimension, things happen instantly. Energetic work that I do happens instantly. The effect happens instantly. It doesn't have to wade through the physicality of healing, and the physical changes that take place. Say if you broke a bone, how long it takes to heal. None of that counts when you work with vibrational frequencies. Yeah.
Wow. It's so cool. And the funniest thing is, when she did this for me, I asked her the question, okay, so now I'm aligned, my chakras are aligned, everything's aligned. So, do I have to come see you again? She said, do we have to keep doing this on and on and on? She said, no, once it's fixed, it's fixed. So this is a huge thought process that I'd like you to wrap your mind around, which is basically different than going into a psychiatrist. And no, I'm not shaming anybody, because we respond and honor everybody's professions.
Absolutely.
And I've used them myself, and they've helped me tremendously. That this is a different approach, where it's quick, it's instantaneous, and you're transmuting and changing that energy, because, as Ildiko was saying, the energy never really leaves. It's not going anywhere. But to be the best human you can be, you want to be in alignment and as positive as you possibly can be.
Yeah, absolutely. So the first step is to understand that everything is happening energetically to you, and that if everything is energy, then everything can be shifted. So there's no real parameters around this. And so it means that we need to look deeper at what our minds are actually doing, because our minds can actually be the biggest obstacle to us leading the kind of life that we actually want, or we think we want. Because sometimes what your conscious mind's telling you want is not what you actually want. Now, This is where it starts getting a little bit more interesting.
Absolutely.
Sometimes your conscious mind is telling you one thing, and your unconscious mind is running a completely different system and pattern.
It's a totally different show over there.
That's it, exactly. Yeah.
This is a perfect ending. So we thank you for being here. We like to keep these kind of short, because these are bite-sized consciousness discussions, but this is perfect. We'll go into that on the next show. Thank you for being here and listening to Ildiko and I, and we will see you on the next podcast.
Thank you. Take care. We would like to take your hand and step into this year in a different, empowered way that no one is discussing. We invite you to come with us on this journey, to show you a different way of being, to get to the deep truth of things, instead of having another year of ups and downs with the same patterns. In essence, we are going to help set you up for success.
We have a SMART 2-part experience just for the listeners. And the SMART experience is an acronym for the S is for simplicity, the M is for motivation, the A is for action, the R is for reconnection, and the T is for transformation. And we are offering an expansive experience first with Ildiko, who will remove blockages with energy, and then Julie, who will introduce the light language to infuse you with light, clarity, and positive purpose. So this is a large transformation in not only how you'll feel energetically, but also how you will experience and view the world and opportunities that are open to you. And this will be a session with each of us individually. If you'd like more information, please click the link, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the podcast.